current session except upon a substantive motion for rescission. Mr. President, distinguished senators,
come again.
Is saying it shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific question upon which the Senate has come to a conclusion during the current session except upon a substantive motion for rescission. Mr. President, I am craving for the indulgence of the Senate for a rescission of our decision as regards clause 60, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act amendment recommendation that of the bill.
Electoral Act amendment.
Yes, Electoral Act amendment bill.
Is that concerning 1482 of the votes and proceedings?
Page 1482 of our votes and proceedings.
So you want to rescind the decision we took last?
Yes, I want that decision to be rescinded.
Distinguished colleagues, is it those in support that he should proceed under this order? What order did you come under? 62 under order 62.3. Senator Ningi, please.
Mr. President, my name is Senator Ningi, and I represent Bauchi Central.
Yes.
I rise to second the motion ably moved and canvassed by the Senate whip of this House that under order 1B and 526 of the Senate, that the Senate should accordingly rescind its earlier decision on clause 60 sub 3 of the Electoral Act and repeal and enactment bill as previously passed. I will commit that is the motion. He moved. He did. He did the motion.
Let me move the motion.
Sorry. Distinguished colleagues.
Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues. First of all, the point of order is upheld.
Mr. President.
And secondly, we now give you the opportunity to proceed with your motion.
Yes, what I did earlier on is an explanation to the questions that you posed.
I have told you.
Yes, thank
the Senate has given you. You have the floor.
Motion, Mr. President. Distinguished senators, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. My motion is motion for rescission on clause 60 subsection 3 of the Electoral Act 2022 repeal and enactment bill 2026. The motion reads as the Senate recalls that the Electoral Act repeal and enactment bill was passed by the Senate on Wednesday, 4th February 2026. Note that upon careful examination of the bill, fresh issues have emerged.
Senator Monguno, just a minute.
Yes.
Distinguished colleagues, will it be out of place for us to finish with the votes and proceedings, and then he can go ahead and change any part?
Stay on this.
Senator, yeah, please sit down. Senator Yaya.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am Yahya Abdullahi representing Cabinet. What he has raised now is a kind of a notification or a correction to what is there on the protocol of proceedings. So we just note that and then we finish the consideration of both of proceedings, and after which we give him a chance to raise his motion.
Exactly. He's right.
Now, no, it's not correct, because already he has invoked order 1B, and it was put to vote, and it was agreed. So it should continue. He's talking about if we are following a normal procedure, he's talking about if we are following a normal procedure, but he has invoked order 1B to put that aside and then move on to deal with this matter. So to deal with the matter.
Well guided. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will read again. The motion reads, the Senate records that the Electoral Act Repeal and Enactment Bill was passed by the Senate on Wednesday, 4th February 2026. Notes that upon careful examination of the bill, fresh issues have emerged in respect of Clause 60, Sub 3, which requires further legislative consideration in order to ensure the conduct of smooth, transparent, and credible elections in Nigeria. And relying on the provisions of Orders 1B and 52.6 of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended, accordingly resolves to rescind decision on Clause 60, Sub 3 of the Electoral Act, Repeal and Enactment Bill as previously passed, and recommit Clause 60, Sub 3 to the Committee of the Whole for further reconsideration and passage. I so move. Mr. President, the reasoning behind this amendment,
Mr. President,
is that
point of order.
I've just given background information for the reason behind this amendment. The reasoning behind this amendment is I was the one who moved a motion for the retention of the existing act, and it was as a result of the controversy generated whether to use the word transfer or transmission. The controversy that it was generated, in order to clear that controversy, that this motion was brought in order to clear that controversy. Mr. President, the Senate being an embodiment of the representative will of the people, will always act in consonance with the wishes and aspirations of the people, being an embodiment of the representative will of the people. Mr. President, this amendment that is sought is to bring our laws that we are making, is to make it autonomous, to make it a replica of the wishes and aspirations of the people. That is the reasoning behind this amendment. Thank you, sir.
He's saying that.
Mr. President.
Sorry, let me guide the Senate. What I understood.
Point of order. Point of order.
What he proposed in the last sitting was the use of the word transfer, not transmit. And I think you came to me and asked me what was that? What is that? He said transfer instead of transmit. So he came to me and mentioned the fact that he would like to propose a motion to ensure that he changes that word. But I was asking the clerk that it looks like even the clerk did not reflect it in the votes.
Mr. President,
So
the amendment I'm proposing.
go ahead with the.
That's your motion. That's your motion.
That is the motion. That the presiding officer. The presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to IREP portal, and such transmission shall be done after the prescribed Form EC8A has been signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned by the candidates or polling agents where available at the polling unit. Provided that if the electronic transmission of the result fails as a result of communication failure and it becomes impossible to transmit the result contained in Form EC8A, signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned by the candidates or polling agents where available at the polling unit, the Form EC8A shall, in such a case, be the primary source of correlation and declaration of results. That is the amendment sought to be made in this motion.
Thank you. Yes, Senator Abamoro. No, it's okay. Senator Abamoro. I'll repeat it. I'll repeat. If his voice, Senator Goje, if his voice is not loud enough, and so you didn't hear well, I have told Senator Abamoro to second the motion, and I will repeat the motion before I put it to votes. Senator Abamoro, please second the motion.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I want to say this is the beauty of democracy. Senator Mongono made a proposal in the last session, and today he has come with a substantive motion that he wants to amend, rescind the proposal that he made in the last plenary, which was taken. I therefore second the motion that he be allowed to.
What is the motion? What motion? What is the motion? Tell us. Oh, yes.
If you allow him, he will tell you.
Tell us.
And so I second the motion.
Which motion? What motion?
That
What motion is it?
the motion to resolve it to the committee of the whole.
Distinguished colleagues, this is a motion. This is a motion. It's very simple. If you disagree with him, move your counter motion. So if you agree with him, you agree with me when I put the votes. When I ask for the votes.
Make it a habit.
that the presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to the IRF portal, and such transmission shall be done after the prescribed form EC8A has been signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned by the candidates or polling agents where available at the polling units, because sometimes you don't see any polling agent. Provided that if the electronic transmission of the result fails, if it fails as a result of communication failure, in other words, maybe network or otherwise, and it becomes impossible to transmit the result electronically in Form EC8A, signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned by the candidates or polling agents where available at the polling units, the Form EC8A shall in such a case be the primary source of collation and declaration of results. So distinguished colleagues, if anybody has a counter motion, you move it later. But in the meantime, those in support of the motion as enunciated by Senator Mongunu and seconded by Senator Bamoro, say aye. Aye. And those again say nay. The ayes have it. Yeah, point of order.
Mr. President, my name is Naya Baribe, and I represent Abia South. My point of order is Order 72, Mr. President.
Order, please. My mic is not working. Order.
All the extra. I'm still standing on my point of order.
Order, please. Order, please.
DSP. All the extra he added was unnecessary. Should have just left it here. But we're on committee of the whole now. What are we?
This thing is not working.
Yeah.
Senator Balibe.
What do you want me to do?
Okay.
If we're going to committee of the whole, let's leave it. Because we'll have to discuss it.
Page 1483. Page 1484. Page 1485. Page 1486.
Can you take your seat, please? Take your seat.
Order. Take your seat. Page
Professor Ani, take your seat. Senator Yunus, take your seat.
1489.
Senator Karimi, take your seat.
Page 1490.
Take your seat.
Point of
Take
order,
your seat.
Mr. President.
Page 1491.
Point of order, Mr. President.
Page 1492. Page 1493.
Point of order, Mr. President. Point of
Page
order.
1494.
Point of order, Mr. President. Point of order.
Page 1495.
Point of order, Mr. President. Point of order.
On what? On which page? Oh, sorry. Distinguished colleagues. Senator Kawu.
Mr. President.
Senator Yahya.
My name is Shayin Naya Baribe.
Sorry.
My order is order 72, Mr. President.
What does it say? Read. No.
Any senator may challenge the opinion
from
individually now. That motion. That motion.
SP, put it on vote. Put it on vote. Put it on vote.
Okay.
Constitutional order. Point of order. SP, let us vote. Let us vote. Let us vote. Let us vote now. Constitutional order.
Senator Omer.
Let us vote.
Senator Omer.
Point of order. Point of order. Order, please. Order, please. Point of order. Why is it that all of a sudden this Point of order. Babu.